Coming to you live from the city that thinks it's the capital of Canada, Toronto, Ontario. Welcome to the Midweek Late Night Show. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's get things started with my second chair, the one, the only, Velvet Duke.
It's the Midnight Late Night Show. If you don't live on the West Coast, then it's midnight or the other way around. And if you live way overseas, it's already morning for thee. It's still midweek where we come from. We'll have guests, trivia, Kelly's and Zemnickis and me. We're gonna give you the funny on the Midweek Late Night Show. Midweek Late Night Show.
Awesome. Give it up for the Velvet Duke, everybody. Yes. So glad to have you here tonight, Velvet. Velvet Duke, the Velvet Duke. Who is tonight's show sponsored by, just so the friends at home know?
Absolutely. Tonight's show sponsor is Tilden Rent-A-Car. They folded in 1996, so you're better off walking. Back
Thank you. Oh, Tilden Rent-A-Car. Friends, on the Midweek Late Night Show, each month's show will be brought to you by a treasured Canadian company, one of which is Tilden Rent-A-Car. It's a bit of a deep cut for those of us who watch TV in Canada. I always wanted to go, but I was never old enough to drive when they were around. So there we have it. So being a late night asterisk, depending on what coast of the continent you are on. This might be supper time for you all. I have no idea. But we have some news for you tonight. Audience, are you excited to hear some different headlines?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I love it. We're not going to do the traditional news for you tonight here on the Midweek Late Night Show because we'll just all be sad. We'll just all be very sad. So I've got three headlines for you, three fun news facts, things that are happening in the world. So first off, we're all familiar with Pizza Hut, right? We're all familiar with the chain. Are we fans of Pizza Hut? Round of applause.
Oh, I'm the only one. Give it all to me.
The Velvet Duke. I love Pizza Hut. I haven't had a deep dish pizza from Pizza Hut in a while, but a Pizza Hut in Ontario, Canada recently went viral when a sign they posted in their restaurant window had a slight typo. The sign read, "Due to unforeseen circumcisions, the dining room will be closed this evening." Circumcisions. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I would be leery of the toppings they put on the pizza after they were
Meat lovers.
Gosh darn it. That's spell check, people. Spell check. Although technically that word was spelled correctly. So it wouldn't have passed a spell check test. It was just a stupidity check. Here's another thing in the news. The cicada population is looking to set an all-time record in 2024. Cicadas are looking to make an impact this year. Murder hornets have been quoted as saying, whatever. It's been 4 years, guys. Murder hornets, let it go. Let it go. It didn't work. The murder hornets are the insects or the new Coke of the insect world. Really, just didn't. Oh, new Coke. No one liked it then. No one likes it now. All right. And finally, I don't know if you've heard, but Snoop Dogg and Master P are suing Post Foods and Walmart for saying that Walmart has been hiding their cereals on the store shelves, making it impossible for customers to find. Guys, it's not that they hid it, it's that you're too high.
I got that.
You can't find anything if you're that high in a Walmart. It's there. It's there, I promise you. All right, everybody. It is time to go back to the Velvet Duke. Velvet, curious, what is your word for the week?
The word for the week is snake. Guess who that rhymes with? Snake. Yeah.
Drake?
Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Rake?
No, you were right, Drake. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to know Drake, but we do.
We do. We certainly do. All right. There you go, friends. Word of the week is Drake. All
Snake.
right.
Snake. It's Snake, not Drake.
Snake, sorry. I blame Drake. I blame Drake. Alrighty. Our guest for this month's show, I am so happy to welcome her. She is a Montreal-based producer and comic and voiceover actor, and just one of my favorite people on the gosh darn planet. Everybody, please give it up for the fantastic and the uber colorful Monica Hamburg. Monica's here tonight.
Hi. Hello. Nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you. And I was just saying before we recorded, given that we are a Canadian-based program, our color palette is really matching the U.S. flag or maybe the French flag, depending on where you want to go with the red, white, and blue. So
I like it.
I like it. We did not plan this, friends, did we? Velvet, Monica, no.
No, we usually plan to match. Kelly and I usually match on shows unintentionally. Just a Canadian thing, guys. It's what Canadians do. I don't know if you guys don't know all Canadians, but we always dress alike. We just think it's cute.
Exactly. That actually is a really good lead-in to what we're going to start off with you being here tonight. And Velvet, please feel free to join in as well in this game. We're going to play a game called Weird Canadian Trivia. Yeah. Alrighty. Here's what's going to happen. Monica, I am going to present 2 facts to you. You have not heard them before, correct? I did not tell you beforehand.
I know nothing. I will know nothing even when you ask, but yes.
All right. So I'm going to give you 2 facts. One is true. One is not true.
Okay.
So you're going to have to figure out which is the real fact that I'm giving you this evening. All right. Here we go. Do you want them both at once or one at a time?
One at a time. Please.
One at a time. All right.
Not too short, I'm sure.
We're going to start off with this one. A lesser known Canadian Christmas tradition is mummering. Mummering. This is the practice of visiting several homes while in disguise. You wear masks, you dress up, and you go to a neighbor's house where they will then prod and poke you with questions.
That sounds like an Eastern European tradition, so I will say that is false.
It's true.
No, come on.
Apparently, it is something that happens in Newfoundland and Labrador on the east coast of Canada. Mummering is a lesser known Canadian Christmas tradition.
Okay.
There you go. So, all right. And I guess that gives away what the next fact will be, but we're gonna test you to see if maybe I'm tricking you with the next true or false question, just as I pull it down here. All right. The Canadian flag is as old as Canada, which of course became a country in 1867.
Sounds right.
It's false. I don't know if you know this, Monica, but we only got a flag in 1965.
Wow, we really don't have the budget for anything, do we?
We only became a country separate from Britain in 1981, so we're babies.
Yeah, the Canadian flag, for our viewers here in Plauzzable and those watching at home or wherever on YouTube, it was designed in a contest in the 60s, about 100 years after we became a country. And fun fact, the Canadian flag, of course, is two big pieces of red, a maple leaf in the middle with a white background. My grandfather designed a flag that was a strip of blue, a strip of red with a maple leaf in the middle. So he just was one color off.
Oh, wow.
He went with blue for the province of Quebec where we grew up. But yeah. I don't know about you, Monica, but I would like to think that when it comes to the whole Canadian flag only coming around 100 years later, it was like somebody forgot to do something but couldn't remember what they had to do.
Yes. Like last year, in Quebec, the Pride Parade was canceled because they forgot to hire security.
Jesus.
So they had to cancel it. The day of, someone went, "Oh, fuck." It's like the most classic Quebec thing. If you know anything about Quebec, that is just so on brand. You know?
I love that. I remember hearing about that, and I think I was in town when that happened. It was like quite the. It's not happening today. Why? Oh, Doug forgot to get security.
It's so sad. So that's what I feel probably happened with the flag, is that like they assigned it to, you know, and then eventually Steve died. He told no one, you know, and then it's just someone eventually is like, you know, we don't even have a flag.
Velvet, would this happen in Ottawa? Do you think this would happen in Ottawa, just forgetting to book security?
Well, they wouldn't forget security because there's so many levels of police in Ottawa. I think there's 6 or 7. New ones get built every day. I think that they grow them farm or organic, and
You're right.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's true.
I have to agree.
Indeed. All right. Well, Monica, you are based, as you say, in Quebec. You are in Montreal, my hometown, your hometown, correct?
Yes.
What part of Montreal are you from?
Mostly NDG.
Okay. I'm a Westmount girl.
Oh, la-ti-da.
For those unfamiliar,
which is everybody else.
Literally every single other person. Yes. So you guys know Westmount is like our ritzy part of town. That doesn't mean all of it is, but it's just it's got the rap.
Yeah, it does. It does. It certainly does.
So
very white, very Anglo.
Toronto of Montreal.
Yes, it is the Toronto of Montreal. Maybe.
It doesn't have as much culture or personality, though. Like that part is like the least entertainment district. At least Toronto has stuff going on, but that's fair.
That is true. Never thought of that, Velvet. That's amazing. I love that.
If you say there's nothing going on, then that is kind of like Toronto has really gutted what the entertainment industry looked like. The dance clubs and all that got pushed out, and
yes,
and that's and Westmount never had any.
It does have a reputation of not being fun, except for us, of course.
Exactly.
I think Westmount is like the Liberty Village of Montreal.
Yeah. Nobody asked for it, but a lot of people hang out there.
You don't want to associate with the people that are in there, so you avoid them, that kind of thing. Yes. They're dull. They have money.
I love this.
Tank Toronto.
Let's dump on Toronto with this, Mike. Let's do it with this.
Dump on Quebec. We can dump on Ontario. We can dump on every province.
Exactly. I think that's the beauty. I don't know if you would agree or disagree, Monica, about Canadians, but I think we generally have this this impression we've given to the world that we are very friendly and we are quite kind up here, but I think we're also some pretty wicked backstabbers here.
Well, like everywhere else, like everyone hates every other place, Kelly and I are both descendants of Eastern Europeans, and like every Eastern European country hates the neighboring country and all the features around it. And it's kind of amazing because they're all little tiny places, but fuck all those other places. We are the most sketchy place, god damn it.
We are. And speaking of stabby in Toronto, you're very likely to get stabbed in Toronto. Just fun. Yes. If you're coming to Toronto, pack some good sneakers so you can run.
Or the sneakers are the reason you're going to get stabbed because they want the sneakers. Kelly's part of this whole racket. I'm figuring they had to call in security for Pride in Montreal because Kelly was there.
I was getting out of I was walking up the subway stairs today in Quebec, and I heard what I thought was an altercation. So I was like kind of carefully going up the stairs. Oh, it was just the busker. Just the busker sounding like a wounded elephant. And I was like, what is this? I've never heard anything like it.
Amazing.
Horrifying.
Aside from the weird buskers, what is coming up for you show-wise in Montreal that people should definitely check out? What's happening with Funny Over 40? What's going on for you show-wise?
Okay. So I have a show called Funny Over 40. That is a show I co-produced. Woo! Yes. Technically called Funny Over 40 Exceptional and Exhausted, because that is what my co-producer Jennifer June Chapman and I feel about our age, which is like we are great and amazing, and we're also really tired. Really, really, really tired. So that's the brand. And we've had 3 shows. They've pretty much sold out. It's been really fun, and it's nice to cater to an audience that is really underrepresented. And it's fun.
I love that. We've talked, you and I, before about when you've done press for this show and how some people are like, this needs to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
what the hell is going on? Like, how do people not realize this?
They don't, and it's like you get really weird questions too. Like one reporter was basically like, "Do men come?" Like that was one of his first questions, and it's like that's entirely irrelevant. Like that is really irrelevant to me too. I love men, but it's like an all-women show, and they're not part of this discussion. You know, that's like if I was having like some sort of lesbian orgy and somebody's like, but what about the dudes? You know, it's like you guys aren't a part of this. What are you talking about? So questions like that and like, really, is this a thing, or is there less opportunity for women? It's like, where have you been? So those things are very funny. I mean, it's great. What's funny is when people ask questions like that, because you go, the whole reason that we get press is because it's a novelty, you know, like
right.
We wouldn't be getting press if that's like a normal thing and you always see women on shows. And so the very fact that we are being asked to be on these shows really clearly states why there isn't, why we are. That's circular. I can't end that sentence, but you know what I'm talking about. Salute.
Yeah, no, definitely. I find, because we did so much stuff during pandemic virtually, and I found it really, really opened up my comedy world into all these other voices that were out there. And I at least for someone in the Toronto comedy scene, I had a lot of hope that would then go into, like, when we got back into brick and mortar spaces, I would have that variety of voices, because I saw on my computer there are so many more people in the scene than I thought. And I have sadly not been proven right yet. Like, people are still doing like a variety of people, but it's like 5 white dudes and one has a mustache.
That makes him ethnic, I'm pretty sure.
It's insane. It's insane. I'll go to Velvet for a second. What's the Ottawa scene like post lockdown?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Ottawa scene.
Velvet, are you?
Things change. Hey, did you know that it happens to be Black History Month? None of the comedians do. There is a new club that started up, Cultures Comedy, and this month they've had 2 shows, which is amazing. There's obviously an appetite for it, but in general, status quo is as you described.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
Are you surprised?
Me or
Monica?
That was a good joke.
Sorry, what happened?
So Michelle hit the rim shot.
Nice. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it's like 2024 and we still have these kind of same conversations. Like, that's what's disappointing to me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that I thought anything was going to improve online after being online. I didn't think that was going to transfer to the real world but it was exciting to hear diverse voices, more diverse than we see consistently on stage. So it was nice, but I don't know. I think whenever I replace Kelly for her mics or shows or something, I always say like, I'm replacing the nice Canadian. So I think you would generally have more optimism and hope than I would. So that makes sense.
I certainly try with the shows that I produce. I try to have a good scheme of rainbow colors in my show because I know these folks are out there. But that's what I love with what you're doing with Funny Over 40 and just starting that. So maybe someone else could be inspired to go, start the domino roll,
I don't really even have to have that much diversity because I'm so goddamn white. And you can see on this screen that anyone in comparison looks like a person of color. So it's great. Very easy.
Are there any comedians on the Montreal scene that you are really loving right now that you want to give a shout out to? Someone folks should follow.
Oh, there's so many, honestly. There's like my co-host is a great person, Jennifer June Chapman. She's super interesting, super funny. There's Elsbeth Wright, who's hilarious and really killing it here. Lots of like exceptional people and lots of people that you see producing shows. Especially another thing is the queer space has really blossomed, and that's exciting to see. And so like Nat Pace and a lot of very cool comedians are, bringing that forward, and that's exciting.
I love that. That is really great. Before we let you go, where can folks find you on socials and maybe come to a show of yours or listen to a podcast?
You can find me performing at the Consumer Electronics Shop. That is, I think that's going to be the next sponsor for your show is Consumer Electronics. Guys, if you don't know, it is a rinky-dink Canadian shop that took over at the time. Anyway, I'll explain the next time it's sponsored. Talk about that some other time, but you can see me performing. I'm going to be hosting at the Comedy Nest on March 6th. I will probably also be doing other shows. I do online stuff. Sometimes you can hear me on the radio doing ads that are usually about infectious stuff. That is my brand. So, fingers crossed for more infectious stuff for 2024.
Yes, you are the voice of infections.
I am. Infections and medication for infections.
I love that. Thank you for being our first guest.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, I'm going to unspotlight you here. There we go. Amazing. It It is time, everybody, for the recap of tonight's midweek late night show. And we're going to the one, the only, the Velvet Duke.
Yes, here I am. All right, here's the recap. No one said snake. Thank goodness. Woo! Don't need no pencils flinging out. We had Monica, who is so infectious. Everything infectious comes from her mouth. Now, she's from the westbound area of Montreal. She's got you rocking one and all. Not dumping on Toronto for long. Maybe just one more time in this song. No, funny over 40, but exhausted, yeah. Go check it out if you can. You can see her at the Comedy Nest, where she'll get some Eastern European thoughts off her chest. This was the midweek late night show. Oh, and mummers are real, you know. Wave the flag, the one that you like. 3 colors, that's all right. There's our recap this week, sponsored by Tilden Rent-A-Car.
You still would be better off walking. Well, everybody, we will be back with a brand new show sometime in March. Velvet and I will deliberate and pick a date for that. There are fantastic shows happening on the Plauzzable platform every day, almost every day, I think. During the week, you've got improv, you've got workshops, you've got stand-up mics. All kinds of things are going on here on Plauzzable. We thank you so much for joining us. I have been Kelly Zemnickis. This has been the Midweek Late Night Show. We'll be back next month with 2 brand new Canadian weird facts and a new guest, and hopefully Tilden Rent-A-Car. Fingers crossed. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Tilden Rent-A-Car.